What's up, boys and girls? Today we're going to be talking entirely about quality of life mods for Risk of Rain 2. I've been wanting to make a bunch of mod videos lately, but I just never got around to it, so I'm gonna do it now. Now today we're gonna be talking about the quality of life mods, aka non-gameplay changing mods. While these mods intend to improve the gameplay experience for players, it won't change it dramatically, like for example the Goku mod, which adds Goku to Risk of Rain 2. Instead, these are going to be more subtle changes, like showing you buffs. Sure, it doesn't sound that exciting on paper, you'd rather be playing Goku and rolling around the map, but trust me when I say these 10 mods will improve your gameplay experience in Risk of Rain 2 much more than if you were just to play a random character mod. Anyways, as soon as you're done hitting that like button, we'll get started. Don't worry, I'll wait. First up, let's talk about the one that I get asked about the most, item stats. Item stats is a simple quality of life mod that all it does is allow you to see the item stats in game. So instead of just seeing a bunch of flavor text, like for example, the ukulele says his music is electric, with the item stats mod, you would instead see the actual stats behind it, like how many people it chains to and the damage it does. Almost every single video I have, people ask me, hey, how do you see the stats of your items? Well, this is it. Next up, we have DPS meter, which is another quality of life mod that I get asked about frequently. All it does is display a little DPS meter underneath your lunar coins at the top left of the screen. There's literally nothing else to it, it just displays your DPS currently. So pretty simple, but it's actually really nice if you want to see how much damage you're doing over time. Next up, we have stats display. And like every other mod so far, stats display does exactly what you would think it would do. Displays your stats. Some of the stats that it will display include the crit, your damage, your attack speed, your armor, your health regen, your movement speed, current experience, current kills, gold collected, etc, etc. Now obviously a lot of these aren't that important and you're probably going to want to get rid of them. Thankfully, the mod adds a very simple way of doing that. All you gotta do is go to the config files and mess around in those insides. Alright, a little post edit for you. Turns out the stats display apparently has errors to the console or something like that. I think it still works, but it's deprecated. What I'm talking about here is for stats display specifically, and I was showcasing stats display plus, which doesn't have any of the errors and is updated for 1.0. The difference being, I don't think stats display plus has config editor, so you won't be able to configure it. So for the most up-to-date one, you might want to choose stats display plus, but if you want to configure a lot of the things, then you're going to have to select stats display, which is kind of deprecated. Thought this information was pretty pertinent, so there you go. While I personally don't use the mod because my screen's already basically text hell, it would definitely be useful at some points to know how much damage I do, because it would be really simple to just multiply whatever the item does. For example, a roller capacitor does 3000% damage. If I knew that I did like 10 damage, I could just multiply 10 by 3000. Very cool mod, very configurable, and I do recommend highly. Alright, so we've talked about the item stats, the DPS meter, and the stats display mod. Well, turns out there is one mod that basically does every single thing that these mods do. It's called the betterui mod. Basically, all it is an all-in-one for all of the previous mods we've talked about, and a couple more. It has a DPS meter, a buff timer, item stats, and stats display all in one neat little package. When I first found out about betterui, I thought that you had to download all of the previous mods as well, and that it just like packaged them together to make them look nicer. Turns out that's not at all what it is, it's just generally all separate mods. So you can actually have DPS meter and stats display and betterui, and they'll be displaying all of your stats together. So you could have 2 DPS meters and 2 stats displays. That being said, betterui does actually work well with all of these previous mods. For example, it has some compatibility with item stats, which is my preferred item stats mod. Here is the list of all of the things that are currently implemented. Item counters, DPS meter, stats display, ordered inventory, scrapper menu, command/scrapper menu, item counters, and tooltips. Close the command menu with escape. Holy shit, this is Pog. Automatically resize the command window if there are more items. Remove background blur. Advanced item descriptions, advanced equipment descriptions, hide pickup notifications, skill proc coefficients with calculated effects based on the items you are carrying, item stats mod integration for command window, buff timers and tooltips, and show hidden items. Much like the stats display mod that we were talking about previously, betterui is extremely configurable. Like seriously, you can almost configure anything you want about this mod and make it appear whichever location you want to on your screen. I don't actually use the betterui mod, but I have no excuse other than the fact that I'm lazy. I don't actually want to go through all the trouble of configuring everything, and again, like I said, my screen's already text hell. So unless a betterui gets a UI for configuring it, I'm probably not going to get it. Although if you want all the information included and everything like that and you're willing to configure it, I do highly recommend the betterui mod. Next up, we have Stunter. This mod is for people who A, play Risk of Rain 2 until their game crashes instead of ending it at Mithrix, B, have a bad PC, or C, have both. That was me in the previous months that I've been playing Risk of Rain 2, but I got a brand new PC now, so pog! It basically helps with the stuttering of the game that is usually made much worse by mods, weird how that works, so if you do plan on getting a bunch of mods in this game, I would dare say this mod is mandatory. As for the technical aspects of how it works, I have no idea. Something about garbage collection and whatnot, computer science student with no clue, right here. So this next one that we're going to be talking about is Risk of Rain 2 cheats. The reason that this is a quality of life mod is that it really provides everything that you would ever want in terms of cheating the game. If you've watched my previous video on lunar coin farming, you'll know that one of the ways I describe is by editing the files and giving yourself a bunch of lunar coins, but with Risk of Rain 2 cheats, you really don't have to do that. You can just click a button. Also, if you ever want to test things out, like, I do pretty frequently when I'm doing tests and checking out items and making guides, etc., this mod comes in pretty clutch. If you are going to download Risk of Rain 2 cheats, make sure you do it with Risk of Options, which just provides a better UI for the Risk of Rain 2 cheats. Some of the things included in the Risk of Rain 2 cheats menu, which I'm not going to include all of it because there's a whole lot, include giving yourself money, giving yourself God mode, infinite skills, ESP, which allows you to see boxes through walls, skipping the stage, a menu to kick and edit players, which I don't know, is there a kick menu when you're playing in Risk of Rain 2? I don't think there is, so this is actually pretty nice for that. You can change values of your character, for example, lunar coins, experience, damage, crit level, etc. If you ever wanted to move really, really fast but didn't want to play command and get 1,000 go-tos, you can just change your movement speed here. You can turn on always sprint, unlock all, which allows you to unlock all characters, skills, and skins. And I think this actually counts towards your achievements if you click the button too. And if you ever feel like spooking your friends, you can turn on no clip. So yeah, pretty cool mod. There's a lot of uses for it other than just straight up cheating the game, but wanted to add that for you. Next up on the list is Chest Be Gone. Empty Chest Be Gone is a very simple mod, which as soon as you open up a chest and it's now empty, it will disappear from the map. Have you ever had that feeling of, I don't know if I've looted that box. I can't see, don't have my glasses on, and I'll just go over there anyway. And then when you finally arrive over to that empty box, you realize that it's empty and you can't open it, and you feel like you've just wasted 10 to 20 seconds of your time. Now, for anyone who doesn't like wasting time in Risk of Rain 2, which I assume is most of you since you complain regularly about how long it takes me to get past stage 2, Empty Chest Be Gone can save you several very useful seconds. I've used it myself and had a very good time with the mod. Although, because I have early onset Alzheimer's, I do forget that I opened a bunch of chests in the map, and with Empty Chest Be Gone, I end up saying to myself, there's no chests on this map. Weird. So if you have dementia, I wouldn't recommend this mod. Another very simple mod on the list is Buff Plus. Buff Plus, all it does is adds timers to your buffs. Do you or your friends ever just count down in your head that brain socks cooldown? Do you frequently wonder when your Berserker's pauldrons are about to fall off? Or are you constantly worried that your tonic's about to wear out and the 30 afflictions you have stacked up are finally gonna get you? If so, Buff Plus is the mod for you. You'll be able to know exactly when all of your buffs are going off. Now here's a 2 mod combo that I'm gonna be pairing together because basically they're the same thing. The first one is Faster Printers and the second one is Faster Scrappers. As the names imply, one will make printers print faster and the other will make scrappers scrap faster. I don't know about you, but every time I'm around a scrapper or a printer, it takes forever to get all of my items down. With these 2 mods, you won't have to wait around for like 10 plus minutes just to get your inventory cleared of all those chronobobbles. Also, Faster Scrapper also allows you to change how many items it will shred at once. Currently in Risk of Rain 2, the vanilla version, you scrap 10 at a time. So for example, if you had 12 crit glasses and you tried to print them, you would only print 10 of them and you would be left with 2. Faster Scrapper allows you to change this. Now, if you prefer a vanilla version, but you just want it to be faster, then you don't have to change it, but you can. We love our customizable mods. And for the 10th and final on the list, we're going to be talking about one mod that I think you should have above all others, even if you don't download any other mod, this is one of the mods that you need to have. Okay, maybe that's not true. If you plan on getting mods in the future, this is the mod that you should have. Yeah. That mod is the R2 Mod Manager, or on the Thunder Store, it's called R2 Mod Man. Currently, it's actually pinned on the Thunder Store, so all you have to do is go to the Thunder Store, look at their mods, and there it is, right next to R2 API and Beppin, which are the two mandatory things that you have to download anyway. But the best part of this mod manager, is it allows you to download mods at the click of a button without having to go to files and manually insert them. If you're not very tech savvy, this is the simplest way for you to download mods, and there's very little chance of you ever screwing it up. All you have to do is go to the Thunder Store, click manual download, and it downloads an exe for you. You don't even have to install R2 Modman, it'll do that for you. Then when it launches, you just create a new profile. This will be your mod profile. You can create multiple if you want to change which mods that you have on each profile. And then from there, you can select which mods you want to download at the click of a button. Even better, you can disable and enable mods without having to remove them from your file system, which is what I was going to have to do if I did download this mod. So that's pretty nice. You can also export your mod profile so that you can share it with your friends or anyone really out there. And all they have to do is use the profile and they'll be able to download all the mods that you have. No mod inconsistencies, and therefore you can play together. Also, another cool thing is that if you click on Steam and just click play Risk of Rain 2, you won't actually be launching a modded version, it'll just be the vanilla version. You have to go to R2 Modman if you want to launch the modded version. So if you ever feel like playing vanilla, all you have to do is click, play the game. And if you ever want to play the modded version, you can do that whenever you want to through the R2 Modman. Oh yeah, and about the config files that you need to find for all of the other mods that I've talked about that are configurable, there's actually a section in R2 Modman where you can click and it will take you directly to the config files. So you don't have to search for them through your file directory. Alright, now I said that R2 Modman was the last mod, but that was kind of cap. This is a super secret bonus mod for you getting all the way here. Congratulations, by the way, and make sure to like the video. The mod that we are talking about, cue the drums, is the proper save mod for Risk of Rain 2. Have you ever been in the middle of a 100-stage Risk of Rain 2 game and your mom comes in and says, "Hey son, come take in the groceries," or "Hey son, you need to go to bed. You've been up for 12 hours, you haven't moved from your desk even once, and I found the piss drawer"? If so, you probably wish that you could have saved the game and got off. Instead, you were forced to watch as your god run was shut down by your mom pressing the power button. Sag. But if you had proper save, you would have been able to avoid that situation. Proper save is the mod for you and me. A mod that lets us actually get up from the computer without having to sit there for 20 plus hours. Not only has this saved the blood flow in my legs, but it has probably also gave me at least an extra 10 years of life. Sure, I love a hardcore intense gaming session, but every now and then you actually have to get up from the computer and proper save is there to help me. What proper save does is it automatically saves your progress at the beginning of each stage. So once you get to stage 2, it will automatically save there. If you decide to get off in the middle of stage 2, the progress from the rest of stage 2 won't count, it will start you at the very beginning of stage 2. Keep in mind that you can only ever have one save active, and if you try to start up another game, it will just overwrite your previous save. So if you end up not wanting to continue that last game that you were playing, just start a new game and it'll automatically be overwritten. The great thing about proper save is it actually has multiplayer support, so if any of your friends go, "Oh man, gotta go," you can save the game and then come back later. Although if they left in the middle of a Risk of Rain 2 gaming session, they probably weren't really your friends to begin with. Anyways, that's it. That's proper save. That's the last mod. That's a super secret bonus mod. Those are 11. Risk of Rain 2, quality of life mods that I recommend. Sure, there are plenty more out there, and I probably could have made like 20 plus more, but I think 10 plus 1 is a good place to stop. If you have any mods that you think I missed or are pretty good, leave them in the comments. And also make sure to like the video and subscribe and do all the other juicy things you like to do. Anyway, good night or good day, mate. Bye.